Welcome, this is Whitney Tatton and Jessica Edwards from Deadly Ears Program, linking ear and hearing health with the Early Years Learning Framework, Childcare Queensland webinar. Firstly, we would like to respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners of the land and the sea on which this event is taking place, and elders both past and present. Deadly Ears. Deadly is a word used by Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people meaning great or cool. Deadly Ears is a Queensland Health statewide Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander ear health program for children. These are some of the teams within Deadly Ears. Community Engagement and Health Promotion Team, which consults with key community stakeholders, delivers culturally relevant health promotion and health education to individuals and groups, collaboratively develops resources and materials to deliver messages around ear and hearing health. Allied Health Team works closely with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health workers, child health nurses, early educators, school staff and other community groups regarding detection and management of middle ear disease and its impacts on childhood learning and development. This includes speech pathology, occupational therapy, audiology and allied health assistance. ENT team provides ENT clinics and surgery in the community. Liaisons with communities and other health service districts, ENT surgeons, statewide and multi-professional support teams. Workforce development team provides accredited and non-accredited training for ear and hearing health. Provides ongoing support for health programs focused on ear and hearing health, including screening, reviews and referral pathways.
So today we'd like to share with you the first webinar of our two-part series that we're doing with Childcare Queensland. This webinar is about linking ear and hearing health with the Early Years Learning Framework. So we'd really like to talk to you about why it's important to identify and prevent ear disease and how it links to the principles, practices and outcomes of the Early Years Learning Framework. We'd also like to start by talking to you about ears and the process of hearing, and then what happens when little ones have ear disease and how it affects hearing and development. We'd also like to share how we can prevent ear disease. So to start setting the scene, we'd like to just have a chat to you about a little one called Sunny, and you can see Sunny in the middle. We'd like to talk to you about his journey through an early education setting and how that might relate to the Early Years Learning Framework. So when Sunny and his family come along to enrol at your service, the educator might have a yarn with Sunny and his family about their cultural background and also about hearing health status. So that's really relating back to that principle of partnerships with families and also the outcomes around cultural competency and also holistic approaches, really considering children within the context of their family and their culture and all of that information that they bring along with them from the beginning of your journey with a family and a child. Through this process, we might identify that Sunny has some ear troubles and that he might have had them before he came along to your service from when he was little. If we start a conversation with families about ear troubles, then we can refer families to the right services and support those difficulties. So we might refer to an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health worker, child health nurse, or a GP. This is really linking into that outcome around children having a strong sense of well-being and also the practice around assessment for learning, because we know that if little ones are having ear troubles, it might impact upon their ability to develop communication and play and interaction skills. And they might actually need some more assessment in order to work out what's going on with them for their learning. Once we do that, we can start to create supportive learning environments for Sunny. So this links into the practice of learning through play, creating fun learning environments for children to learn about having healthy ears. We can also create those supportive acoustic or listening environments as well. We can also engage Sunny in that process of learning about having healthy ears and how he can keep his ears healthy. Some routines during transitions might be a good way to do that. So we might look at embedding breathe, blow, cough, wash, chew in his routine, as well as some other preventative ear health approaches. We'll talk more about that later on. But this really enables Sunny to be an active agent in managing his own health and well-being. In talking with Sunny and his family, we might start to talk about his home language as well. And we need to do this in a way that's respectful of diversity, and also help Sunny with his use of learning standard Australian English in the classroom, because we know that this is the language that kids go on to school and use every day. So in doing this, we can create listening and language apps that support Sunny during his time in your centre. So really we want to look at many aspects of Sunny's health and well-being and support all of those so that he can engage in his learning when he comes to your centre, and so that his family are involved as partners throughout that as well. So this is a journey into the ear, a normal ear. So sound goes through the outer ear canal, and it actually hits up on the middle ear, on the eardrum, and that vibrates and makes the three small bones, the smallest bones in the body, the ossicles, vibrate. Those bones move and impact upon the middle, the inner ear, the oval window in the inner ear. And at that point, the sound is converted into an electrical signal. So all of the parts of the ear need to be working in order for the sound to be understood by a child. So it goes through the tiny hair follicles and then through a nerve and into the brain, where the child understands what they've heard. So the brain then tries to help the child to work out the meaning of the sound that they've heard. So it's actually a really complicated process of hearing, and all of those parts need to be working well in order for children to hear. So we might just watch it again. So the sound's going in through the outer ear canal and it's vibrating the eardrum. Now that eardrum's a really thin piece of skin. Then the sound goes into the middle ear space. Now this is an air-filled space, and it's air-filled so that those tiny bones can move. Those tiny bones then move the inner ear and the cochlea, and within that it's a really complicated system with lots of hair cells, and the sound's converted to an electrical impulse, and then it goes through a nerve to the brain, where the child then makes out what the meaning of that sound is.
So this is a picture of the ear and all the parts of the ear: the middle ear, the inner ear, external ear, the stational tube, a normal eardrum with no fluid, and the back of the throat. When we hear, sounds get caught by the outside part of the ear, outer ear, and moves down the ear canal to the eardrum. The sounds make the eardrums vibrate, as well as the small bones in the middle ear, which is in the air-filled cavity, vibrate. These are the smallest bones in your body, the size of a grain of rice. The small bones vibrating sends an auditory message to the inner ear and then to the brain via a nerve. The brain then helps the child work out the meaning of the sounds heard. When middle ear disease is present, sounds get caught by the outside part of the ear, outer ear, and moves down the ear canal to the eardrum. The eardrum and small bones have difficulty moving because of the fluid caught inside the middle ear. The reduced vibrations of the small bones send a much quieter sound to the inner ear and the brain. The brain has difficulty processing the information and telling the child what the meaning of the sound is because the sound is quieter. CSOM, or also known as runny ears, the fluid builds up in the middle ear and bursts a hole in the eardrum, which may cause the fluid from the middle ear to come out as runny ears. Often the pain of the ear infection eases once the eardrum has burst, but this needs immediate attention from a GP, health worker or nurse to treat the infection. If the infection remains unresolved, the hole can become bigger and have impact on ongoing hearing loss. Throughout our work with deadly ears data suggests that 45% of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander children in Queensland will have a hearing loss at any one point in time in the classroom, compared to 14.9% in mainstream society. These may not be the same kids all the time due to fluctuating nature of the underlying ear disease that leads to hearing loss.
I think it's probably important to note there that might be up to 45% of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander kids in discrete communities that deadly ears work in. So they work in 12 communities throughout Queensland. And the rates of hearing and ear troubles vary across Queensland. But the really important thing to note here is that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander kids will often get ear disease earlier, more frequently, and it might last for longer as well than their non-Indigenous peers. So there's a YouTube clip there, which actually is varying degrees of hearing loss. So it's you can listen as if you would have a mild hearing loss or a moderate hearing loss or a severe hearing loss. So we'd recommend that you have a look at that YouTube clip because it's quite interesting to experience that for yourself as kids might experience it in your setting. The type of hearing loss that often comes along with middle ear disease is a mild to moderate hearing loss. And you might, that might be equivalent to trying to listen underwater in a swimming pool or putting your fingers in your ears really tightly and trying to listen. So it's really important to note here that persistent or repeated infections can cause permanent damage to those middle ear structures in the middle of that air-filled space. And it's really important that we prevent these ear troubles so that kids don't have fluctuating, ongoing conductive hearing loss, because they might miss out on lots of those key learnings when they're growing up. We know that the early years are really crucial for laying down those neural pathways for learning. So we want to be able to give kids access to that sensory input of hearing. So in the work that we've done, some educators have shared with us some signs that they see that they often associate with kids who might have ear trouble. So some of the things that they've shared with us are that they might have to repeat themselves a lot, or kids with ear troubles might be the kids that are rolling around on the carpet or tuning out of class or getting distracted. They might need more assistance to follow instructions well. They might need instructions to be broken down or given quite explicitly. And they might actually look at their peers in the class to try and understand what's going on and copy what they do. There might be kids who disrupt the group, or they might wander around and tune out as well. So have a reflect and think about if there are any kids like this with signs like this in your class. I wonder if they might be having some ear trouble. Might be something to look into. So we've got a checklist here that are signs and symptoms to look for. Things that you might see are kids pulling on their ears, and this is something that you might often see with bulbs as well as older kids. Also, because of that eustachian tube that connects the middle ear to the back of the throat, often when kids have a cold, or a respiratory problem, they might actually go on and have a middle ear problem as well, simply because that eustachian tube is shorter and flatter in children than it is in adults. So the bacteria might travel up more easily, and also the inflammation around in your face in that area might actually cause that eustachian tube to not work as well as it would when you haven't got a cold. Also, signs to look out for include fever or where the little ones have pain. It can be really painful to have a middle ear infection because that musk behind the eardrum increases the pressure and that can cause a lot of pain. Might also cause some redness of the ears, or if that eardrum's actually burst, it might you might see runny ears or a discharge. Little ones who are a bit grumpy might also have ear trouble, or if they're a bit dizzy or clumsy as well. A lot of our balance organs are located in the ear, and so that might actually affect whether they're dizzy or clumsy if they've got middle ear trouble. Maybe being less alert or having poor concentration or higher distractibility than normal, or behaviour problems or changes. Also, watching other kids in the class for cues or copying other kids might be a way that you might see that they're not listening or hearing you like they should. Signs of being boredom for activities that they might usually like. Or for older kids, they might actually ask you to turn up the sound, or they might ask for information to be repeated, and that might be a sign that they might be having some ear trouble.
Prevention of ear disease. Look, breathe, blow, cough, wash is an activity that we use in the schools and childcare and kindy to help the kids learn about ear disease. Regular nose blowing in daily routine helps ears pop and clears out germs. Ensure all students blow their nose until it is empty. Nose blowing needs to be taught. For ideas on how to teach this, see the links below. childcaresupport.org.au, Healthy Early Years Training Home. The activity is breathe, blow, cough, wash exercise. So we get the kids to run on the spot for 10 seconds, do 10 star jumps, then take 5 big breaths, get the kids to blow their nose with a tissue and throw in the bin, get the kids to take 2 strong coughs, and then get them to wash their hands with soap or hand sanitizer.
So this is a template that we often use in community, and you can localise this template. We're more than happy to email it to you. We often find that kids are more likely to engage in something if they can see themselves or other kids in their group doing the activity. So this might be a nice way to embed an activity that will prevent ear disease in your setting.
Some strategies for prevention and management. Face stations can be set up in a childcare or in a school setting. Set up a space for kids to blow their nose and make a blow your nose poster specific for your classroom. This all can be localised as well, just to suit your childcare or school. Face stations are great. Children can be monitored, their own health, and the tissues are always in the same space. So this is good for children to look into the mirror and blow their nose and see themselves doing something to better their health. And this is always going to be set up in the classroom.
Yeah, you can actually purchase, they're quite easy to set up, as you can see in the pictures there, but you can also purchase them from the Office of Early Childhood Education and Care, and there are some forms online if you'd like to order them, or if you'd like to email us, we're happy to send a form as well.
In addition to breathe, blow, cough, wash programs, ear disease can be prevented by having a healthy diet, having good hygiene, not putting things in ears, immunisation, swimming in clean water, keeping ears dry, blowing exercises like balloons, bubbles and straws, and early identification and treatment community screening programs. So finding out if any hearing health programs in your community or at the school or clinics are running, and let the families know about this.
So as Whitney was saying, early identification of ear troubles is really important. So if a bubba's got sore ears, getting them to the health centre so that a health worker, child health nurse or GP can have a look and start treatment will help them to have strong, healthy ears. This is a poster that Deadly Ears have developed with the communities that they work in. And things like this might be helpful at your centre to have up so that families can see that your service is aware of ear troubles and also knows about who in the local community to go to. Your child health nurse, GP and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander health workers are really great people to go to. This is another resource that Wirrabinda community developed with Deadly Ears. It's a DVD that is for primarily for little ones, working with little ones, and it really goes through strategies about why having healthy ears is important, how you can tell if your bubba's got ear trouble, what to look out for, and how to prevent ear trouble. It's a really great resource, and this and both of the posters are available through Deadly Ears, and we'd be more than happy to post them out to you if you're interested. This is also a national ear health campaign called Care for Kids' Ears. It's a federally funded program and it has a huge selection of great resources and also videos and activities for early childhood educators, families, health professionals and also school teachers. The early childhood educator packs are available for free. They've got a wonderful story in them that you can share with kids about getting your ears checked and things to look out for. Once again, really making them active agents in preventing ear disease and recognising if they've got ear trouble so that they can get quickly identified and supported. There's also some lovely activities in there and stickers for kids as well. And as we mentioned, they're all for free and they're available on the website as well. So these are some good other resources that are available online for you. Deadly Ears has a website which has lots of links to good resources, as well as the other websites up there, Ear Troubles and Care for Kids' Ears and Families of First Teachers. Our next webinar is next week on the 10th of September, and in this one we're going to be talking about creating supportive environments for healthy hearing. So today we really wanted to talk about how we hear and what ear disease is and prevention and the importance of having healthy ears. So next time we're going to be talking about managing the impacts of ear disease. So helping Bubba to yarn, learn and play. And we do this by creating strong listening environments, sharing strategies with educators about what they can do in their settings, preventative programs, as well as where to go if you're seeking additional support. Once again, we're more than happy for any questions or comments to come to us at our website or via email as well. So we'll put our details up there. Thank you very much.